Hi everyone, welcome back to Mental Health Made Easy. My name is Alex, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and today I'm going to be covering 5 ways to decrease anxiety. Let's get started. So the first way to decrease anxiety is to make room for silence. With so many things demanding our attention all day, it's easy to become used to the feeling of having our minds occupied at all times. Even when we come home and we're trying to unwind watching TV, these things are still occupying our mind. And while those aren't inherently bad, it doesn't really leave much room for rest, relaxation, and ultimately doing nothing. So when we do nothing, we allow ourselves to recharge, rest, and even have time for creativity. So what I would encourage you to do to decrease anxiety is to try to set 10 minutes at the end of your day to allow yourself to sit in silence. The second way to decrease your anxiety is to find your inner calm. This is done by focusing your attention on something that's already calm, such as a building, a tree, or even an item on a shelf. What I'd like you to do is rest your attention on that item and allow yourself to experience and feel that calmness. Now, this is easily done usually in a quiet setting, but this can also be done in a setting where you find things are a little bit busy, because even in the most busy settings, there usually is at least one item that you can point out that is calm. So finding your way to that item and resting your attention there can allow you to take on and experience that same calmness and decrease your anxiety. So now let's move on to the third way to decrease your anxiety. Third way to decrease anxiety is to focus on physical movements. Physical movements such as running, walking, or other active sports pull us into the moment and allow us to focus in on the body. So when we're focusing on the body, there's less room for agitating or anxiety-provoking thoughts to spin us into worry. So what I would encourage you guys to do is, as you're walking, as you're doing some kind of activity, focus in on how that movement feels and enjoy how focusing in on that movement pulls you into the moment and allows you to separate yourself from those worry or anxiety provoking thoughts. The fourth way to decrease anxiety is to practice a strategy known as just this. So just this allows us to look at the process of meditation and mindfulness and acknowledge it as both a beautiful and challenging process. When we are being mindfulness or practicing meditation, we are required to be a little bit more honest with ourselves. We're looking at ourselves with a very realistic lens. Now, just this means that we are going to go ahead and look at a particular experience. We're going to meet it with acceptance, awareness, and acknowledgement, and allow us to experience that in the present moment. That allows us to take ourselves from whatever anxiety-provoking thoughts or spiraling thoughts we may be having and grounds us and centers us and brings us to a point of a little bit more realistic expectation of where we're at in the current moment, which can allow us to build more self-awareness. The fifth and final recommendation I have to decrease anxiety is to practice body awareness. Being aware of our body and how it's communicating to us can tell us a lot about what's going on internally, especially with our mental health. Oftentimes, if we're struggling with stress or anxiety, there are subtle cues we may begin to acknowledge and experience within ourselves that let us know that bigger storms may potentially be on the way. And that can allow us to get ahead of those storms and start to do things that can decrease and prevent them from happening. So some of the things that you want to acknowledge, sometimes there's small tensions, there's small cues, maybe having headaches, maybe having a little bit of stomach disturbance, even having the sensation of a little bit of a jitteriness can let us know that I'm feeling a little bit more restless, a little bit more anxious, and that should be a cue that we should then start to practice a little bit more self-care and make ourselves a priority to decrease some of the stressors around us that may be contributing to that anxiety. So practicing body awareness and learning and developing more insight about yourself is a great way to start to decrease your anxiety. So I decided to throw in a sixth bonus tip for you guys to decrease anxiety, and that is using breathing. Breathing is a very powerful tool to decrease anxiety because it's accessible at all times. You can be anywhere, any place, in any situation, and using breathing as a way to decrease anxiety and center yourself, practice a mindfulness technique here, is very helpful. So how do we do this? Well, we can begin by first acknowledging different characteristics about our breathing. We want to notice, how deep am I breathing? How fast am I breathing? Really just feel the air entering and the air leaving, right? So that will allow you to center yourself, and I encourage you to do this several times throughout the day. Especially a great time to plan it in is just doing 1 minute before each meal of the day. That can allow you to start to ground yourself, center yourself, and as you feel the need to incorporate this tool in your life to decrease anxiety, you would have had enough practice to be able to use it whenever you feel the need. And those are 6 ways to improve anxiety. If there's any topics you guys want me to cover in the next video, please feel free to comment below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe to this video. And this has been Alex with Mental Health Made Easy. I'll see you guys next time.